Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. You can also catch this podcast on the go wherever you get your podcasts. And do consider following me on every social media platform. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm really excited to introduce my next guest, Dylan Calder. Dylan, how are you, man?
That's right. I'm very good. I'm excited to be on the Dom's podcast after numerous times of asking.
Numerous. Look at you already like all up close on the microphone. You can relax.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You almost look like a robot. You look stiff a little bit.
Oh, do I?
No, you're fine. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
Okay. This is my first podcast. So.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Right. I just want to make sure the mic can pick everything up.
Yeah, you're actually good.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, man. So, hey, thank you so much for being on. And yeah, you've been, poking me, trying to be like, yo, let me be on the show. And all right, finally, here you are. So we're going to talk about what some people don't know. We're going to talk a little bit about you, but you, my friend, might be on the hit TV show Survivor.
That's right. Well, I've applied about 3 times now.
Yeah.
And I've talked to casting recruiters, not directors personally, but casting recruiters. But I haven't gotten past the stage 1, which is, just sending in an audition video and getting feedback. So yeah. I've talked to recruiters, but like I said, I'm in the process. I've also talked to a previous winner.
No, you really did?
That came through Fish Time, yeah.
No way.
I thought I told you about that.
No, wait, no, hold on. No, you didn't tell me this. Oh,
yeah,
wait,
no,
what?
Adam.
I thought I was prepared for the show. Like, wait, what?
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Wait, who? Oh, I say who like I actually follow, but no, seriously.
I actually couldn't even tell you their names. It was it was a weird note I actually got from my table. It was a 6 top, and a couple left me their number saying, "Hey, we find you attractive. Like, would you want to hang out? We're here to." And they were out of town. They're from San Francisco. They said, "We're here till Sunday." And I think this was a Friday. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to hang out with them. But they were persisting. So I was like, all right, you know what? Just follow me on Instagram. And come to find out, she's followed by Adam Klein, winners of Millennials Gen X season 33 of Survivor. And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, is there a connection here? So dude, this was hilarious because I declined her for like 48 straight hours. I was like, I'm not hanging out. Like, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And she was like, this is our last night. And like I said, I told her, follow me on IG. And I was like, oh my God, like, this could be my connection. So I said, you know what? If you send Adam Klein basically like a text or an Instagram DM that, you know a guy, I kind of describe myself as, good looking, like charismatic, all this, like interested in the show, athletic, college student, from Atlanta, everything. I said, if you just DM him this and see what he can do, I'll consider hanging out with you. You know what I mean? And it came.
I'll consider. Hey, key word. Well, consider.
Hey, I'm negotiating here. Okay? I can't just automatically say I'm gonna hang out with him. So yeah, she was like, you know what? Like, if you hang out with us tonight, we're going to a bar in Cartersville. I'd never been to Cartersville. I imagine it's a small city and there's not a lot of bars. Yeah. So I was like, it just doesn't sound fun at all. But if you send me a screenshot of you messaging Adam Klein, I'll hang out with you. And she did it. And the message was beyond something I could have came up with. Like, it was just, the words were perfect. And in the screenshot, you could see they had already previously DM'd. Oh. And I was just like, they're friends. This is perfect. She told me she had never even watched the show before. Oh, really? So they met at some nonprofit organization because Adam's really big into that since his mom. That's another story, but he's really big into that, and that's how they met. And I was like, this is so perfect because that's a perfect connection. Yeah. She hasn't even watched the show. And where am
I? She messaged Adam, and you're about to meet up in Cartersville.
And they had a previous DM, right? So she sent that, and I was just like, all right, fine. And I went and hung out with her, but it was a terrible night, by the way. Like, really? Hanging out in Cartersville was horrible. I actually brought a friend because I was like, I know what they're up to. I am not hooking up with either of these two. You know what? I just realized I was gonna market this podcast on my Instagram. They both follow me, so I have to block them when I do this because I mean I know I haven't name dropped them, but there's no way they won't know this is about them. So, but it was a terrible night. But it ended up leading to me emailing Adam Klein. He was all about it. He's helped me get on the show, and we're in contact right now. It's awesome,
dude.
So, yeah, big contact there. Dude, all through Fish Time.
Through Fish Time.
Our favorite place.
It's funny because I actually never mentioned where I work because like it was funny because the last person I interviewed was my good friend Mike, who I consider my brother, and I was making this joke how like I hate social media, but in a way I'm like hiding in plain sight. Like I still like my privacy, so it's in a way I control the flow of information that I put out there. So I've put out that like, oh yeah, I work at a restaurant, but I never said which. But then you just said it, so I'm like, wow. I tried my best.
Well, they were gonna know.
You're gonna
go big time here. They're gonna research you. They were gonna find out. It's good that they know now.
Yeah. So. Oh well. I act like I'm a big star. I'm not right now.
But hey, dude, well, you will be later on. Maybe. Positive attitude.
Always, dude. Dude, you're my 10th guest. Like this is fun. I already made. Well, I don't count the first 3 episodes because those were practice rounds. Those are honestly trash. But you're my 10th guest. You know, I didn't think I was gonna really go this far. This is great, and people are loving the show. People are some of my friends. You know, they're like, hey, I want to be on your show. And I have to actually make a list. And so that's why I was like, Dylan, you got to wait. But no, so I've interviewed 10 people now, 10 more. And it's just going to keep multiplying, man. This is fun, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's important to have a hobby like this.
It is.
To keep you going.
Like, and I've always said this, like, and I was telling this to one of my cousins. It's like, if you're going to do something like a hobby, you know, yeah, everybody wants to make it. Everybody wants to, you know, make the big bucks and stuff like that. Like the way I see people say like, oh, I'm just doing this just to have fun. But I feel like sometimes they're like kind of lying to themselves. You really do got to do it for fun. Because honestly, this is fun. I'm not thinking about, you know, like, oh, I'm hoping to, you know, make it big. But if it happens, awesome. But I'm focusing on school, focusing on work, and focusing on getting the next person onto my show. So if you're having fun, it makes me have fun. And then it makes the person that wants to be on my show, it's just overall great. It's a great feeling. And then whatever happens, happens. But overall, it's fun. I'm having a great time. I'm hoping you're going to have a great time too.
Right.
So, oh my God, dude, I did not know about that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's mainly just advice on putting yourself in your best position to get casted, which I have done a lot of research myself and everything, but this guy could not be more perfect because he is a super fan of the show and he goes above and beyond to help other people get on the show. It's just awesome. I was like, what are the odds, you know?
What are the odds? Dude, what a small world.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, so like so I have some questions written down. I think this is going to be fun. All right, so I'm going to pretend that I work for the show. So pretend that I work for the show. Okay. This is an interview process. All right. So Dylan, what makes you think you'll be a great contestant on our show Survivor?
I just think I'm charismatic enough to be on the show. I'm a good storyteller. And at the end of the day, that's what Survivor is. It's about storytelling. And as far as I don't care about being on the show. I just want to win the show.
Yeah,
I want to win this show. And I want to preface this too. I don't care about the $1 million. And I know people say that. It's never been about the money. It's always been about the passion. I'm passionate about certain hobbies, and Survivor is just one of them. So I think if you have a young kid like myself, athletic, good looking, charismatic, super social, but also knows the game, you know, I've seen every season. And I think it's important that someone does their homework before going on a show like this because it's not fun. I'm not saying this show is fun. It's fun to watch. It's not fun to play. It's not fun to play. And
you don't think so?
No, I mean,
I think you have to like kind of look at that struggle and be like, that looks like fun. I think I do well in struggle in the stressful situation.
Here's the thing. I envision myself on the show a lot, like a lot.
Who doesn't?
And I think visualization is something that's just important in anything you like, but that's different point. But I never visualized myself like starving
Mm-hmm.
or like not getting sleep. Because, you're sleeping on bamboo from trees that you cut down and put together through, but it's not comfortable. And you have a handful of rice every day. Maybe you catch something in the ocean, maybe you don't. So it's not comfortable. I never think about that part of the show. I'm not saying I'm not ready for that show. I just don't think about that part.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what drives me on the show. What drives me is the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very game savvy player. I love, chess. I love just a lot of things where you have to use your head.
Yeah.
And this is like the game of games. So yeah, that's why I think I'd be a perfect candidate on the show. I'm biased obviously, but I'm just so passionate about the show. I think it's important to cast people who know the show and are passionate about the show rather than just casting, maybe stereotypical like models or those stereotypical athletes, roles you see in like other reality TV shows. Yeah. I think it's important to cast people who actually are passionate about the show. And based off the research I've been doing, that is exactly what they're doing as of recent.
Okay.
And also something cool that I've found too is they're trying to do like a lot more diversity. Obviously, there's been a big push this past decade, especially this past 5 years, to diversify like just different people on shows. There's not enough diversity on the shows, and that's going into reality TV, especially Survivor. So it's rumored that 50% of this new cast is going to be completely diverse. So I'm excited about that.
I mean, I didn't think I was going to talk about it. I don't give a shit about diversity. Who
really?
Cares? Who cares? Like, well, I mean, I didn't think I was going to. My thing is, there's this old study, like, I'm into video games, like, and there was this one study about like, oh, we need more female game designers. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think no one is blocking them from that. No, it's just not that many women go into that field. So like, it's like, oh, we need more of them. Okay, then how about you go to like some high school, some middle school, and try to recruit early and get them in, like, interested in that kind of stuff. My thing about diversity, it's like, who cares? As long as you're good at what you're doing, that's great. Would I like to see a diverse crowd? Sure, but it's not important to me. It's just like, I'd rather have a crowd of people who are passionate about the certain subject. That to me is a diverse crowd. And I mean, I can go on in a tangent, but like real quick, what I'll say is like, no two same, basically race or anything or gender are the same anyway. So they're already diverse in their backgrounds and stuff like that. Like if you get two white people or two black people, they're already diverse. They didn't come from the same thing. You don't know. So whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
No, you've said your piece. I get it.
I said my piece.
I'll end with this, and you made a lot of good points there. But Survivor is a game which represents society.
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept of Survivor, right? Like the first season was a social experiment.
Yeah.
So 16 strangers were marooned on an island, and they were responsible for gaining some sort of influence in order to not be voted out. Because every 3 days in Survivor, you're voted out by the tribe mates that you live with. So you create your own society. Obviously, if you look at season 1 and you look at season 39 or season 40, there's a huge, and we're pushing more for diversity, but there's a huge growth of diversity even between those. Because I'm talking maybe 2-3 black people on season 1, or just Asian people. It was predominantly white. You would turn on, it was white America in like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And for a show that's representing society, that's what they said. So it's the greatest social experiment. It's important to have a vast group of people who come from different walks of life, different backgrounds. So you have the best society possible, and you can talk about a numerous amount of things rather than just having 16, 17 white guys. It's just they've done better, like I said, they're trying to do a lot better because of recent pushes. And I think it's great.
No, I mean, I'm all for it. Like, I'm not trying to block anybody from it. It's just, I would look at the demographics of, like you said, like who's applying, who's auditioning for that. Because, maybe there are just certain demographics that are like not that doesn't interest me.
And you can make that argument, but here's what I'll say. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate here.
Play devil. I love it. You know,
we have different viewpoints right now, but I will say season 1, the viewership for that finale, and we're talking 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's been population growth 2 decades later, but 2000, 71 million people tuned in for the finale. 71 million. And then they had a season right after that. So if 71 million people are watching this saying, and Survivor is one of those shows where you're sitting on the couch thinking, I think I could do that better.
I could do that.
It's just one of those shows where you relate to the people. So my point being, there were thousands of applications, thousands of videos being sent in. I'm sure it was from many, many people.
Exactly, from all walks of life. Yeah.
Right.
And it's just, at that point, it's the, I guess, air quote, casting director that picks the one that fits. Because I did look briefly before I had you on the show. I wanted to look, because I was trying to come up with some questions to ask you. But I was looking up, kind of the different things for Survivor. And one of them was how, the sorting process is they have to make sure that at a base level, they have a standard of how physically fit and mentally fit you can be to, be considered. So obviously, they're not going to pick some overweight person, no matter, regardless of that person's race or gender. They're not going to pick somebody who's like super overweight or super like, skinny, like, it's like, this person needs to eat a burger or something.
Right.
So, like right there, like I totally get it. So like it's all the casting director who he or she picks of like, all right, you're a good fit. And if it happens to be majority of a certain race, oh well, it's whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, so real quick, so in Survivor, like if you were a contestant, how well do you think you could influence your team?
I think pretty well. Yeah. I already have like a persona to me where I'm very chill.
You're a chill dude. You're a nice guy.
I'm very easygoing. Yeah. I think I would.
Were you trying to be a leader?
No.
And
it would be weird for me to go in there, as a 23-year-old college student and say, this is how it's going to be done. This is what we're going to be doing. That would be weird because I've never done anything like that in my life to back that up. So they could easily see through that and break that down. But
you watched every season. You know some stuff.
I do know a lot. And what I do know with your leaders, the leader never wins.
Oh, really?
The leader never wins. They get far. He or she will get far. But they just don't win because it's a game about, getting far to a point. But then at a certain point, for instance, if the leader, so to say, was playing the best game around 7-8 people, he's going to get voted out because people are aware he's been leading since day one. And it's almost like a power struggle. Like you haven't had the power for 30-something days and you see the end game. It's so close. You're like, you know what? Like, this is my time. Get people together, vote out the leaders. That's generally how it goes. But it's very rare someone leads from day one to day. I've seen it happen, but it's super rare someone leads from day one all the way to day 39 and wins the game. Super rare.
If I was on the show, I would be an instigator. I can already say that. Like as soon as somebody declares themselves a leader in the tribe, I'm gonna be like, hey man, all right, you're gonna be the leader. You're gonna get voted out in like round 8 or some shit.
So you would say that to him in front of the tribe?
I'd be like, hey guys, so he's our leader. So remember, round 8, we're voting this guy out. Like I would break the fourth wall kind of character.
But you would do that in front of everybody.
Oh yeah.
You'd make it publicly known because that's a strategy.
And like I did look up some stuff on Survivor, and there was one time there was a cyclone. So the contestant couldn't talk to each other off camera. They wanted everything like on like the drama and stuff on camera.
Yeah,
I would be the perfect one. I would wait. Oh, there's an emergency. I would have like some notebook or whatever, trying to plan out like, all right, what kind of shit can I stir right now? And then the moment on camera, I'd be like, yo, Jeffrey, Trayvon said this kind of stuff. I think you're good, but Trayvon thinks like you're slacking on the tribe. What do you say? And then I would go to Trayvon and be like, man, dude, don't worry about what Jeffrey's saying. What is Jeffrey saying? It's like, oh, don't worry about it. I have your back though. And
yeah,
okay. Like,
what? You'd play both sides.
Oh, I so would.
Okay, that's a strategy.
I saw a little like funny clips on YouTube, getting ready for it, just to have an idea, to talk to you about it, and I was just like, this looks like fun. So, which begs me to my second point, which I I know how you're gonna react, but I still gotta ask it.
Right.
Why do you believe what happens on Survivor is real and not fake?
Why do you believe what happens on Survivor is fake and not real? I'll answer that with a question, Dom. Go ahead, Dom.
Why do I think it's fake? Yeah. You know what? No, I'm gonna change. Like, we'll get it on air. I changed my mind. Yeah. You know, I think it's real after seeing certain things on Survivor. I think it's real. I'm just gonna play I don't know if it's devil's advocate, but I just don't think it's.
I'll interrupt you. I'll clear the air for everything.
Okay.
What do you see that's not real? I'll just start with this, because if you look from day 1 to day 39, you even mentioned like overweight. That's actually a strategy coming in. And myself, I would do that too. I would eat jars of peanut butter, olive oil. I'd get all the healthy fats like avocados, all the healthy fats I could think of. I would triple or quadruple the amount of servings I normally do now for the 6 weeks, whatever I have to prepare for the show. I'd quadruple it to go in maybe 10, 15 pounds heavier with good fat sources. So I still have good energy and everything, and I'm still somewhat in shape. But I would make sure I have that in order. So
when it's like burning,
right,
it's
right.
Like, it's
if when I start starving and everything, I'm not going to be as weak physically as everybody else. You know, that's a huge strategy. But in saying that, so from day 1 to day 39, 2 or 3 people will make it, depending on if it's a final 2 or final 3. They switch the format here and there. If you look at them, from day 1 to day 39, they lose, almost a fourth or a fifth of their body weight. Richard Hatch, the very first winner, lost over 50 pounds.
Oh, wow.
50. He came in like big. He won the show. He lost over 50 pounds.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, what do you think? What does everyone
that
think?
Part's real.
Okay.
What I say, like, fake is okay. This is what I have. I saw this a couple of years ago. But it wasn't because of Survivor. I think it was Naked and Afraid. How obviously, you know, people have to care for you, and I know there's a medical team and besides, you know, the camera crew and whatnot, but I'm just like, yo, okay, these cameras, like I've worked with cinematographers before. Like, these cameras, you know, they take up a lot of juice, and they're constantly having to, you know, switch out batteries and files and memory cards and stuff like that. The way I see it is like, okay, when you fall asleep, you know, obviously, you know, the cameras are off. The camera crew, they're not in it for the $1 million. Obviously, they're not playing, so they need their sleep. So I'm like thinking, and at a certain point when the cameras are off, they're like, all right, you guys can semi-sleep comfortably. I'm not saying that they're not being put through the ringer. I just don't think like what you see, like, oh, they're sleeping on a hammock or makeshift, whatever. I think that part's for show. They'll get it, but then maybe they'll be like, okay, for the next 3-4 hours, you guys can actually sleep on this like little futon. Maybe it's not the comfortable. That's what I think.
You think they're bringing a futon to Fiji, Dom? That's what you think? They're bringing a futon to Fiji.
Just saying.
That's the hill you're gonna die on. They're bringing a futon to Fiji. For everyone who doesn't know, Fiji is the location in which Survivor is now shot on. It used to they used to
Don't they switch it up though?
They used to.
They filmed in Africa at one point.
They filmed in Africa. They went to Australia. They went to Tocantins, Brazil. They've been all over. But now the designated area is Fiji, and this is for about 6-7 years now for a multitude of reasons. It's for the show. It's almost half the price of what they would pay if they went and traveled, because they have a deal with Fiji. And also it's just beautiful. If anyone who's ever seen Fiji, it's just It's a beautiful location. So, but going back to your theory of the futon, I'm not even going to give that one talk. But what I would debunk is when you say the cameraman needs sleep. There's 2 separate teams of cameramen, one during the day, one during the night. They run 24 hours. Everything is filmed. There's never a point where it's not filmed.
Okay.
There's a day shift. I couldn't tell you the exact hours, and the night shift comes over and they film that.
Okay.
So everything's getting filmed. You cannot slip up on that show. It will be revealed.
Dude, I wanna know if some of these cameramans are just like, man, these are crazy. Watching them trying to eat bugs or whatever, and this dude's just unwrapping like a Snickers bar. Be like, man, this is some crazy shit right here.
Now, hey, I won't. See, that's some behind the scenes stuff. I'm not gonna go into that. Whether a cameraman gives someone a Snickers bar here and there, if they like him, I don't know.
If I was a cameraman, I probably either I get fired or I'd be a meme. I would hold out like a Snickers bar, and be like, "Do you want it?" And they'd be like, "Oh."
Yeah, not to help your case, but if you do think very carefully, and if you are smart, when you're talking to the cameraman,
I'm not smart. All right, cool. I'm just kidding.
No,
no, I did see that they're allowed to talk to them, but the cameramen aren't allowed to talk back to them.
They're not supposed to, but there is a point where they have confessionals, so to speak. They're away from the tribe and they have their own confessional. Obviously, a cameraman, you won't hear him, but he'll ask a question before. So if you're smart enough to think about every question being asked, you can almost make certain educated guesses as like, why would he ask me that? You know? So if you think hard about that, that has some influence on the show. But that's not cheating. It doesn't mean the show's fake. There's no aspects of the show that are fake.
No, okay. Like after doing some research,
is it just that? Is it just the sleeping? You think they sleep on futons, or is there anything else?
It's also the food. Now this one I don't know specific. I know you know a little bit more about this. I'm just like, okay, I know. Okay, like you said, like this one dude lost like over 50 pounds. Okay,
right.
That's real. That's undeniable. But I'm trying to wonder, like, yo, like just how far do they really go? Like, no, you can't have food. Like the only food you get is whatever you fish, and because I know that I saw that there are a lot of hunts, but there are a lot of hunt for food, but certain animals are off limits because endangered species and also dangerous and whatnot. And so I'm just like wondering, you know. Like, has there been somebody who, you know, maybe undercooked some meat and like got sick and stuff? Because if that's the case, okay, I'm more inclined to believe, all right, this shit's like super real.
You know, maybe I'm sure that's happened.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's happened. Like they have medical staff for everything.
They do, yeah,
and they are well prepared.
Yeah,
like any emergency that happens, they're out, and they'll even showcase that. Survivor will literally like advertise that in like. Get the cameras out, and you will see the medical team in the hour running time of the show. You will see the medical team sometime if it's a serious cause.
Yeah. If they want to get it on the show too,
right? Yeah, because it affects the whole story.
Yeah.
So they're well prepared for things like that. And if someone undercooked, you know, maybe they go out in the woods, they throw up a couple of times, but that for the most part, that's not going to it'll get picked up on camera, but they're not going to show that in the 43-minute running time, whatever they have.
Yeah, I mean. I wonder if there's been now moving on to real or fake. I'm more inclined to believe it's real.
It is real, and there are certain things. For instance, Survivor cast most reality TV does this based off a stereotypical role, and you know you have your nerds, jocks, cheerleaders, your mom of 3 kids. You're gonna see that every season.
Yeah.
Then they'll throw in different variables, but you're gonna see the more stereotypical roles, if not multiple. And people pick out the clothes they want to wear, but for the most part, Survivor picks out what you wear.
Yes, I did see that.
So if you want to say that's fake,
I mean, it's close. Who cares? Like, ooh, whatever.
They just want to make it very easy on the average viewer who's just flipping channels saying, oh, okay, this is obviously the nerd. He's wearing a sweater vest.
Yeah.
This is the jock. He's shirtless. You know, half the episode. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. What was I gonna say? Oh, I did see this, which, like, again, it's real, but I don't know. I feel like they should change this up. They were saying how you're allowed to snoop in your tribe's stuff, but you're not allowed to take it.
Right.
And so like if somebody has a immunity idol and stuff, you can't take it.
Name dropping the immunity idol. You've done your homework.
I did my research. So my thing was, I'm like, no, I think it'd be really cool. And like, if you were allowed to like look at, think about it like this, like it's at night, you're strategizing, you're like, motherfucker, like they have an immunity idol, I want to take it, but I gotta be really slick about it. But not only can I take it, I need to hide it somewhere. But not only do I have to hide it somewhere, I have to make sure I can find it in the woods one day. Like, oh, I need to use the bathroom, and then you go off right before being voted off, and you go and grab your immunity idol. While that one person's like, fuck, I know I had an immunity idol. Like, how dope would that be? I think that would add more drama.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. It's hard to find an immunity idol, and the person who finds it needs to be rewarded with it. It is always theirs.
Yeah.
And that's been that since day one. You've never been able to steal an advantage, steal information.
I mean, certain perks, like I saw that, like with certain perks, obviously you can't physically steal. But immunity idol, fuck yeah, you can like.
Well, if you say that, then you can just go ahead and steal the $1 million. You know, you could just.
Okay, come on.
You can. What can't you steal at that point? You can steal. There's an immunity necklace. Once the tribes merge, they have the same challenges, but now it's individual. So only one person wins.
Yeah.
So if he wins an immunity necklace, goes to tribal. He cannot have a vote against him. So, since he won that challenge, should someone be able to just steal his immunity necklace?
Okay, wait, no.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that.
Like how you said it. Okay, you're right on that one. But correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes they can find immunity idols in the wild.
In the wild?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I think I read something. I must have misread how they can find an immunity idol. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. You're saying without a clue?
I guess. Oh, I didn't know. So it's a game?
Well, so like
it's not like, oh, we're walking to the game and then somebody like looks to the right and there's an immunity idol and they're like, what the fuck? I'm taking this.
No, it's normally more hidden.
Oh, I think that'd be dope. See, I was gonna say, okay, if it's like that, like you found it in the wild, that's free game.
I mean, there's been idols literally underwater, in like, you know, under rocks, under tree roots. No one's just gonna kick over an idol.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Easter egg it. Like, you know, okay, I don't like. I'm just spitballing a number here. Like, oh, throughout the you know, the whole month, 39 days, whatever. We're gonna give out like, you know, maybe 5-10 immunity idols. But there's also 3 hidden in the wild that you can try to get on your off time. Like and no clues, nothing. Yeah. There's just 3 somewhere in the wild. There could be up in a tree, underwater, under a rock. Who the fuck knows?
I like it.
But the way I see it is like that one would be free game. Like, and you can make it a different color. Like the ones you win in competition is green, and the ones you find in the wild are brown, so they're harder to find. So like if your teammate sees a green idol, it's like, no, he won that, I can't take it. But he finds a brown one, it's like, yo, I'm gonna jack this. I don't know. I think it would add drama.
It's an interesting concept. There are multiple idols out there now, especially recently.
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't been a fan of the idol game, because think about it, like you play a perfect game, like you perfectly work your social relationships to a point where like, all right, we got the votes on this guy. I'm gonna survive another day. And then you place 8 votes on him, and then he's the only guy who's out of it. He plays an idol. All your votes don't count, and then you go home with 1 vote. You know, so I've never been a fan of the idol. I think when the game started, it was about social relationships, and like I said, it was a social experiment. Yeah. So how well you can influence people, how to win your friends. There's actually a good book on that. How to win. I don't know. Have you heard that one? How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a good book. I think it's like one of the top 100 books like ever invented, as far as like viewership. It's a great book. It's a book I've read, and I think it really works. Like I said, to help influence people, and on the show, that's what it's about, those social relationships. So, an idol just confuses everything, and I'm cool with like confusion and entertainment, but it's just like as a viewer, but watching, like playing the game, just not knowing who has an idol would frustrate me to no end. I don't think I would get any sleep. I'd just be like, God, like who's if I don't have it, who has it? You know?
Yeah. So. There's this other rule I find interesting. If you could, you know, kind of talk into it, how obviously you can communicate with your tribe, but you're not allowed to communicate with the other tribe. Like, you can't just wander off at night, try to find their camp and whatnot.
Right.
Why?
Well, it's so you're talking when it's tribe versus tribe.
Yeah, tribe versus tribe.
Well, there's a number of reasons. I think it's those are the tribes that were given. So you got to follow by the rules, follow by however the game.
Oh, fuck that!
No, you can't. You can't just wander
to another
off.
tribe. Be like, hey, listen, let's create a plan. Let's create a conspiracy.
Well, no, because all you know is that is the dynamics of your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So when you all merge, it's very chaotic.
I did see that.
It's
that eventually
very
merges.
chaotic,
yeah.
And that's the merge episode. To me, is always one of the best episodes because that's where the game really begins.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like me, if you could talk to the other tribe, I would try to go to the other tribe, be like, hey, listen, when we merge, let's work together. But let's act like we're enemies.
Look, you can say little things like that. I'm not saying you can't. The camera's not going to pick it up. After every challenge, normally the tribes will shake hands. They don't show it, but they'll shake hands and probably say something. So you could say that if you want. You're risking a lot, though. First of all,
it makes it interesting.
First of all, you're under the assumption that you're even going to make it out of your tribe, your original tribe. So you're working under that assumption. You're risking that you say a few things over here. Okay, did your tribe see you say that? Are you a traitor?
It's interesting.
Reputation.
I would be a traitor.
Reputation is important on this show.
Yeah.
And whether it's the real reputation or one someone creates for you, which has, it might not even be true, but
see, like in real life, like right now, I'm a trustworthy dude. Like I'm a really nice, chill guy like you as well.
Yeah.
But like you put me on a show like that, I'm gonna pick up a persona that like I want to have fun. Like I'm only gonna be this character for like a month. Yeah. And then I'm gonna go back to real life. I'm gonna be a backstabber. I'm gonna try to stir some shit. Like,
and that's your line. That's why the game is so interesting because people come in with all sorts of. Some people will lie, cheat, and steal, and that's all okay. And then you have people in real life who are maybe like an upstanding citizen, or their line of work is like a police officer, and they feel as if they have to, be, on a certain behavior.
Yeah.
So they fear that they can't, play an unethical game or something like,
Yeah.
So you could exploit those weaknesses.
I so freaking would. Oh,
right. That's why it's so different. It's so unique. And every season is different because they cast different people with different thoughts.
There you go.
Different back. It's awesome.
All right. So
I'm really selling the show right now.
No, you really are. Dude, honestly, no lie. Like, I really, really do. I was going to say this for the end, but screw it. I really do hope you get in. Once you get in, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch every single episode, even if I hope not that if you get voted off, I'm gonna still watch it.
I'm throwing a party every week,
dude.
We're having a watch party every week.
Hell yeah! Like I'm gonna watch it.
Hell yeah!
You kind of got me into it. I got really excited doing some research on this. So
yeah.
So what begs this begs my question. So you've seen every single season. You're really into it. What got you into it? Because I'm not saying that Survivor isn't a great show. For me, I grew up with Fear Factor. I loved Fear Factor, and so I was always like, I was too young though, but I was like, man, I hope this show is still going on when I'm older. I really want to, apply for this show, but then it was canceled. But yeah, so Fear Factor was my show. So Survivor is your show. What got you into it?
It's definitely not the first reality TV show I ever watched. I watched. Did you ever see The Ultimate Gamer?
I've heard of that, but I'm having a hard time.
It didn't stay long. It was like 2 seasons. Yeah, but it was so sick. I love that show. I watched Wipeout. I'm sure you watched. Yeah. It's hard not to watch Wipeout.
Oh yeah, I wanted to be on Wipeout, and like you said, like you watch it and be like, I could do that. Oh, that person fell. Man, I could have made that.
What was it? Those 4 red balls. To this day.
No, those are hard.
No, to this day, I'm clearing those.
Really?
I'm clearing those. You just have to do it. You have to sprint and continually long step it, but you cannot stop your pace. Just sprint through them.
Man, see, here's why I'm going to push back a little bit. You say that, like, you're right. Sprint through them. Yeah. But the thing is, man, like, I don't know the texture. I don't know if your shoes are wet, if they're wet. But, man, you think it's going to be flat when you step on it. And then you're able to, spring and go to the next one before, it starts moving. But your foot's going to land like this. And then you're like, oh, shit. Like, nah, man. It's like, what is it? How how when you're running through the water, you think like, oh, I'm gonna keep running and all that stuff, but then eventually you just lose your balance, you fall forward.
I don't care about you, Sam.
Really?
And I'm like 100% like certain too.
Mine is the grip. I got a pretty good grip, so some of them where I see them where they'll lose their grip and they fall, I'm like, how'd you lose your grip? And whatever.
To get back to your question though, it's hard to pinpoint what exactly. I know the season that I got into. It was season 19, Samoa, and there was this character named Russell Hands, and it's a big name drop if you're a Survivor fan. Oh, he's the most diabolical villain to ever play the game.
So my character. Okay.
I'm talking a guy who hid the machete. You have water canteens, right? That you drink out of. People like to fill them up overnight so they drink. He'd pour them out.
What?
He would throw the lids, like he'd hide the lids so they'd become dirty. He would burn people's socks. He'd throw their socks in the fire so they would be colder at night. And the whole reason was to create a game in which he would excel at. A game where everyone was mentally weak and he was strong. And he got all the way to the end. And I just remember, he didn't win.
That's my dude though. Like, that's what I would do.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The premise of the show is getting to the end is half of it. Winning the game and getting the people that you voted out to vote for you is a whole nother ball game. That's the other half that you should be, careful about.
So on the final, is it down to 2 people? Like
you don't know? No,
I actually don't know. No.
So the biggest twist ever in reality TV, ever, to this day, is in Survivor, the outcast, or in this case, the people you voted out and treated with some sort of maybe disrespect, become jurors.
Yeah.
And this is after the merge. So the people voted out before the merge, they're, sent off, they go on a vacation, whatever. They can't return home because
they're on vacation.
It would disrupt the show. People would know they didn't win the show and they'd talk. So in order to not disrupt the show, they send them off, whatever. But when they merge, everyone voted off after becomes a member of the jury. Once it gets down to a final 2 or a final 3, there's about 8, 9, 10 jury members. They have an exchange. The final 2 or 3 will give a speech as to why they deserve the title of sole survivor and the $1 million that comes with it. And then each jury member, one by one, will give their speech or spiel and unload all their dirty laundry as to how they feel about the certain individuals left in the game. And then they'll sit down. And then maybe you get one more case to be like, this is why I should win. I'm sorry. Like, you have to pick and choose which jury members you're going for. Because some there's just no hope. There's some you can't, an apology is just, it's not going to work. So after this exchange, each jury member will go one by one and vote. And unlike all the other votes, you actually want to receive votes in this case. And whoever gets the most amount of votes wins the show. So he got to that point and only received 2 votes. But you got to give him credit. The fact that he received 2 votes was insane. So.
Oh, man.
But he played, to this day, he played the most strategic game ever seen before in Survivor. People were just, there's a term called bitter jury. And there's a huge debate about it because if you have what's it called, jury management, there's no such thing as a bitter jury because you thought about your jury management in a strategic way so they would never be bitter towards you. But Russell, in this case, was just so cruel to everybody. He played a strategic game, no doubt. If you only look at that, he wins the show hands down. But the way he treated people during the course of his game led them to have distaste about it, and they didn't feel right about voting for him at the end. So he only got 2 votes.
What's his name again? Russell Hands. Russell Hands.
Yeah, it's Hantz. Weird last name.
Is Survivor on a streaming service?
It is, yeah. It's only got 34. There's 40 seasons. It only has the first 34 on Hulu, and then
on Hulu, perfect. I want to watch that season.
No, it's so sick.
You made me want to watch.
But he's kind of the reason I got into it. I remember my dad used to always watch it, and I love watching things with my dad. He got me into Psych. Every Thursday night we'd watch Psych at 9 o'clock. Then we'd watch Burn Notice right after 10 o'clock.
That was my show.
Just sick shows, and I was just like, he always tried to get me to watch this show, and I was like, Dad, like, come on, I'm doing other things, and he finally sat me down, and I haven't looked back since. So.
Yeah, my parents they would watch what is it, The Greatest Race, something like that.
So he got me into that too. The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race.
It's owned by the same owner owns both shows. Mark Burnett.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool concept of the show. But
see, that's a show I would go on for fun. That's a fun show.
I would go on that for fun. I would try, but I think Survivor. Yeah, you make me wanna. I can see myself doing two things. Either I would get on the show and either immediately like, oh, I think I can survive. Like, I think I could starve and stuff. Right. The moment like I go 3 days and I'm starving, I'm like, man, you know what? Fuck this. I would purposely try to get out just so I can go to the resort and have a vacation and be like, you guys can try to win that $1 million.
You're a guy I would love to play with 19 Doms. It would be a walk in the park. I'd win the show. And you know who I'd be? It's funny because you have people like that on the show and they'll go to their tribe members and say that. And most often, it's the craziest thing to me. They'll be like, nah, like, you got to stay. I would hear you out and send you off. I would be like, you know what? I'm like, now you're thinking. I'm like, you are thinking.
Dude, I'm in Fiji for free. Yo, people vote me off, like, so I can enjoy this resort. Like, or I would literally say this: vote me off so I can enjoy Fiji. Don't vote me off, and I'm gonna sabotage this freaking tribe. I will be the next Russell. I will freaking burn your socks. Send me off. And then if they don't, I'll just try to win the $1 million. But I don't know. Then once it comes to the jury, that's a tough one. But knowing me, I would just laugh. Like, if I made it to the final 2, 3, whatever, and then it's a jury and they're like, there's no way we're going to vote for you. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not going to win either.
Yeah.
You're just mad because I got you out.
See, I would love to sit next to you at that moment. I'd be like, oh my God, this guy's screwing himself. Like,
dude, like, it kind of super unrelated. As a kid, whenever I would hang out with friends and we would like play video games together, one thing that I would always do in racing games was like, I was never really good at racing games.
You drive backwards?
Oh, I would sabotage somebody else. I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to win, so I'm not going to let you win.
I used to do that
I would do that all the time. That was me.
Me and my brother used to do that. I'll never forget that. NASCAR 03 on the PS2. You could drive backwards. So I would try to win the race, and as it started, I'd see him. He would do a Yui in reverse, and he was literally going backwards. He would hit the first 2 cars, and everyone would just go, like, the cars would just go into flames and hit the walls. Like, it was.
I was sabotage. That's my. Oh, I'm not gonna win. All right, that's cool. I'm not gonna let you win. Yeah. We're playing a fighting game. All right, you're gonna win, but I'm gonna hit you so you don't get it perfect. There we go.
I get it. That's a weird strategy though, because there's so much preparation that goes into the show. So, and you have to talk to the media, answer questions, like. You're on it's a huge.
What made you want to be a villain? I just wanted to be an asshole. That's it.
You can play the villain, but I mean, you're just throwing your game away at that point, Dom. Like, you have no chance at winning doing that.
This video would come out and be like, "Oh, you said you wanted to be the villain. Oh, I changed my mind. I had a change of heart. I was just kidding." But then I would secretly again be a villain. Be like, "Oh, he said he's sorry." No.
Now, I would play up. See, there's a time and a place. I think villains actually play better in the show. Not your type of villain. That's not a villain. That's a guy. That's a suicide bomber. That's a suicide bomber. Make no mistake about it.
That's true.
A villain has, like, Russ was a villain. Yes, he did all that stuff, but he wanted to win the show. Like, he was, in his mind, he was the winner from day 1, and he played like it to day 39. I wouldn't say I'd be a villain. I'd probably be more a hero. But I would play at my, I'm nonchalant, I'm a chill guy. I'm not thinking. Like, you see me at work sometimes. I'm not thinking, I'm just chill. Like, play up my, I'm not intelligent, but I'm super analytical. I'd always be thinking. I'd always be observant about what's happening, what's my best option. So I would definitely play that up and exploit that, manipulate people with that. But I don't think I could do a suicide bomb like you're talking about. I love the game too much. I respect the game too much to waste my opportunity.
It's biased. I'm just saying this because we're friends, but I feel like just knowing you, I can't. The only people I can see that would want to vote you off are people who fear you. Who it's like, man, Dylan's really good.
Yeah, it would be at the end.
But like you are nice. I can see you like legit being like, no, we need to be a team. Let's like tribal and all that stuff. And then when it's moved on to individual, like I feel like you'd be a good sport. Like even if you want a competition, you'd be like, hey, you did great out there. Mm-hmm. I could see you playing that to your advantage.
I would,
but like not in a negative way. Like you're not playing. It's not a facade. You're genuinely a nice guy.
I am. It'll be. And when I'm on the show, I will be my genuine, authentic self first and foremost, and I'll try to gather friends, being a little funny, charismatic, whatever. But I will play it up. Mm-hmm. No, like make no mistake about that. I'll play it up, and I'll play up the genuine guy and whatever. But I'm always thinking I might be genuine to you, but if you don't fit in my end game, I'm not afraid to pull the plug on you.
All right,
assuming I have the opportunity.
Yeah. So how are you preparing? Are you just working out, just doing research and stuff? Like, how are you trying to prepare for the show?
It's preparing for the show is something I think you should really do if you get the call. Mm-hmm. I think the best thing you can do is send in your audition tape. For people who don't know, it's going to be a 3-minute audition tape. You can talk about whatever, but you want to put yourself in the best light. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're interesting, engaging. You want to make sure they want to put you on the show, because at the end of the day, the casting just wants an entertaining show. They don't care who wins.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you put yourself in the best light. So
and they don't want two of the same people, so you got to stand out.
Right. So that's you make a really good point there, because once you get that call, like, hey, we like you, like, let's get an interview. That's one stage, but the final stage is like 48 people. That's the finals. Mm-hmm. And I think we were discussing this a little bit, but just to go more into it, it's going to be in Los Angeles. They're going to fly you out. 48 people is reduced down to 20, because that's how many people are on the show. Mm-hmm. So if you think about that, 28 people are going to get the boot. Or they might be called back for future seasons, but they're not going to be. But if you really, really think about it, you're not competing against those 28 people. You're competing against maybe one person or two people. Because based off how you're being casted, what archetype you are, that's who you're competing against. You're competing against the other two. I'm competing against the other two Dylans.
Exactly.
There's going to be a young, fit college guy, has certain interests. Maybe he's passionate, charismatic, loves the show. Why am I better than them? Why am I better than them?
I just picture you arriving to LA, and then you're just like, hey, my name is Dylan. It's like, oh, my name is Dylan. Oh, I'm a college student. Oh, I'm a college student. No. I'm into soccer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be like, dude, like, wait, why are you here? Like, casting's not till tomorrow. And it's gonna be like, we're gonna be casting like in an hour. I'm like, dude, go home. Like,
no, if anything, be like, you know what? It's rare to meet you. I'm really happy. Let's go grab a drink. I would roofie that motherfucker.
Like, dude, at all cost, I would try to be on the show. I don't care.
I would get him so blacked out drunk, make him miss his call and stuff. It's like, hey, where's the other Dylan? I guess he's not showing up.
Tell the casting director's like, he just must not care about his spot. Like, he's crazy.
Yeah, I would try to take his phone and like write some scandalous thing on social media, be like, man, fuck Survivor and all that stuff, and then be like, yo, did you see this post? It's like, well, fuck that other Dylan.
Yeah. Grab your phone. Only doing this for fame. Does this guy look familiar? Like, yeah, that's the game within the game. Yeah, and I'm not afraid to say any. I know they ask certain questions. I've done research on like certain questions they'll ask, and that's a little bit about like how I've been preparing, like figuring out how I'd answer some of these questions.
Yeah.
One of which is, when is a time? Talk to us about a time in which you've thrown someone under the bus. Because Survivor's a game where you got to throw people under the bus. And if you don't, if you're like, I don't have an answer to that, like, you're screwed.
I will never throw somebody under the bus.
They're gonna be, all right, well, you're not ready for the show. And I know they try to break you too. They'll say shit like,
no, you got to bring in that one innocent person and then like corrupt them. It's like, you got to throw that person. I can't. And then just watch them break down.
Yeah. They
so do. How Survivor? I don't want to talk about it. Threw too many people under the bus.
I've heard there's some mental tactics. Like, you got to meet the host and everything. He interviews you too. And then Mark Burnett, the owner, would be like, Jeff, not this guy. Like, right in front of you.
What?
And you have to, it's intense. Jeff has literally said it is intense. And you have to be like, not this guy, and like make one of those like sappy 30-second speeches like, I would change the dynamic of the whole, the show would never be, one of those speeches. But I love it. I love everything about it. Even the casting part. I'd just be excited to go and see what they ask me. I want you to be
on the show so bad now.
Yeah, I've done my research. I deserve to be on the show.
You deserve to be on the show.
Again, like,
we'll start a hashtag. Get Dylan on Survivor.
No, nothing like that. But
yes, we will.
It's all about actually going out and doing it, right? Like, they're filming right now, but casting starts up in August. And I literally bought a whiteboard. This is no joke. I bought a whiteboard 2 days ago. And I wrote down all my goals and exactly in detail how to get those goals achieved. And I literally everything you could possibly think of.
Yeah.
And being on Survivor is one of them. And I was like, well, you got to send in a tape in August. You can't just wait till December. You got to do it in freaking August and get in contact and, put yourself out there. So
yeah, because you said there's like what 2 seasons a year.
Yeah, 2 seasons. So 2 are being filmed right now in the summer. 1 has already happened. It's going to air in the fall. Then 1 will air in the spring.
Man, I saw a little bit about it. How they aim before they settled in Fiji. How they aim for that tropical kind of climate and stuff like that. Real Survivor put that shit in the winter, like some Arctic area.
It's not. See,
dude, that
it's
would
about
be,
the game.
Dude, that would be sick.
Now they did do stuff like that, like in Africa. Well, the opposite. So in Africa, it was over 100 degrees at all times. There was no tents. They were freaking. I'm not even kidding. It's Africa. There were lions and shit. I'm not kidding. Like they had to like put a fence around everything and like make sure like no lions were coming and fucking eating I'm not kidding, eating the participants. So they tried that, and what they found was, wow, it's really hot. This is going to be awesome. The contestants are going to suffer. But what they found was watching it live was just boring. Like, actually, that's one of the few seasons I haven't even rewatched. Because
okay.
It's just, they were dying out. They were starving. Like, they were literally, like, dying.
I don't feel comfortable watching this. They're, like, really trying to survive out here. This is
like, they were...
I need a little bit created right here.
Yeah, like, give them a fucking protein. Yeah, give them a bar. Give them something. Give them milk. I don't know. Like, they were... all stripped of all energy, and you don't have a show if no one's talking.
Everybody's just grumpy.
Like, that's a different show. So, but now it's not about survival. It used to be about survival, and it manifested very quickly into a game of, wow, this is a fast-moving game, and if I don't play from day one, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that's hilarious. So I checked out some of the games. Prepare for the show again. So I saw that it's a bit of like, I mean, completely ignorant. It's like a bit of Wipeout mixed in with like trivia, mixed in with like learning the culture of where you're at and stuff like that. And then stuff like that. So which games do you think you would excel at, and which games do you think it's like your weakness? Like, oh man, I will struggle on this one. And then you see this other game, you're just like, oh, I got that one wrapped in the bag.
When you say games, you're talking about like the challenges?
Challenges, sorry.
Okay. So
complete ignorant,
No, you're good. And for the people who are listening out there, every 3 days you're going to have a challenge, and that's going to determine which tribe goes to tribal council and has to vote out one member of their tribe. But which games see, I think I would be very well equipped for a number of games. I think I have a well balanced resume of like, I've played like soccer, basketball, tennis, I've swam, flag football, just different sports, running, cross country, stuff like that. And I also have a pretty like strategic mindset in terms of numerics and shit like that. It's boring stuff, but a lot of survivors, like there's always going to be a swimming challenge. There's always going to be puzzles. I love doing puzzles.
Yeah,
like,
I love puzzles.
Swim all the time. A lot of running. I play soccer. I run all the time. So a lot of it, and there's a ton of balance beams too. That's something I think a lot of people should go out and practice if they're going to be on the show. So I think I would excel at a lot of the challenges. My strategy going in is actually downplaying maybe how good I would be at the challenges. I'd really help during the team challenges, but when it comes to individual, I would definitely not go all out. Like, let's say you merge at 12 people. If you win the first 3 or 4 challenges, that's only going to get you the final 8. The second you lose, people are going to be like, dude, this guy can't. The second he does not win, we're voting him out. So a strategy in my mind I already have going into it is not performing my absolute best during the individual challenges because I don't want to be a target. Mm-hmm. They're going to look at me and be like, all right, he's a physical target if he's just winning every challenge.
You want to be the person that, like, the alpha is like, I want him to be on the finals because I'm going to school this guy. And then that's when you're going to perform your absolute best?
I would start performing my absolute best around Final 7. At that point, I would hope I have a strong alliance. I really don't want to put too much emphasis on the physical challenges because I think it's all about alliances and creating multiple alliances within your alliance. I'm talking, all right, guys, like, this is going to break up around Final 5. You and me are the tightest. You know, like having individual relationships with everyone in the alliance, talking worst case scenarios every day. Like that's the game inside the game. That's more important than anything.
Yeah.
And now the challenges come in again. Yeah, I'm not going to give my absolute. I would think it's silly to just sprint your hardest and swim your hardest and win every challenge because there's no way you're going to win every possible challenge. You're going to lose one of them. So if you paint yourself as, they call it a physical beast or a immunity beast, whatever they call it. The second those people lose, they're out. And I've literally, this is nerdy, but I've created an essay. It's so nerdy. It's like 18 pages. It's literally like 18, 19 pages.
Oh, wow. You wrote a book.
Basically it's called How to Win the Game, What the Show Doesn't Tell You. And one of the pages I go, very detailed into the archetypes that are casted. And I nicknamed them, but one of them was the challenge guy. And I put their track record. They never have won the show. No challenge guys ever won the show. They've gotten second. They've gotten there to the finals, but they never win the show. Because at the end of the day, if you get to the final 3 and tell the jury, hey, like, I won all the challenges, like, what about me? Some people might vote for you. That's a real aspect of the game, but the majority is about outwitting people and outplaying people socially. So if you have nothing to say on that, it's like, dude, like, yeah, you won 5 challenges, so you were immune 5 times, but Stacy over here never won 1 challenge and somehow maneuvered her way to the final 3 based off her social dynamics and strategic mindset. So Stacy, you want, that's how I would vote. Yeah. I'd vote for Stacy. That's just much more impressive to me. She was always vulnerable to be voted out, yet she never got voted out.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. Damn.
Yeah. There's a lot of strategy in the game. A lot of ways.
You definitely make me want to watch a season before, if you ever go on. When you go on, you're definitely going to be on.
Speak into existence.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, no, I kind of want to see how it goes down because I just saw YouTube clips just to prepare for the show, but I'm walking in blind. I don't know. So with some challenges, do they have things like I don't know. I'm trying to think because I only saw a little bit when I was watching it on YouTube. Do they have things like Wipeout in a way where like test your grip kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, they do. It's more tribal. Yeah. Challenges rather than individual challenges. A lot of the individual challenges are much shorter, but the tribal challenges, they have like relay races and obstacles. One of my favorites is sumo wrestling. It's so freaking. They've done it like a couple times, but they've done it in the mud, and it's so cool. Like literally, like you have, I don't even know what you call it, but you're holding on like 2 handles, and it's a huge thing. You're just hitting each other, and the first one to fall off this octangular platform loses, and you go one by one, and like they try to do it where it's even matchups. Obviously, like a 200, it's girls versus girls, guys versus guys, and they try to make sure there's no significant weight difference, but it's so cool. Like that's all it is. The first one to touch the mud. Yeah. No rules. Like it's just awesome.
I wonder if there's like kind of going back in the beginning where you said that you kind of have to be a fan of Survivor to be on the show and stuff like that.
Nowadays, so you'd be a fool not to. I mean, you have 40 seasons to look at. Like, yeah.
No, I want that one person to like, oh, so what brought you on? I don't know. I just auditioned. Thought I saw an email. Thought
No,
cool.
see, no one even talks about how they got on the show. That's never a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the TV is never going to capture that. They only have 43 minutes of running time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like on the finale they have more, in the opener they have more, but you're talking 3 days. That's 72 hours worth of footage condensed into 43 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they have to show at least one challenge because the immunity, but sometimes they have reward challenges. Then you have to go to each camp, confessionals, tribal council. Like, they're just not going to show, hey, like, how'd you get in this shit?
Oh, okay,
There's no time for that.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking like somewhere in the beginning, it's like, that American Idol kind of stuff. It's like,
No.
oh, what are you hoping for? Kind of stuff.
No, it'll be very quick. So they're marooned on an island. Like the whole premise is like they're shipwrecked and marooned on this island for 39 days. So they will come in on literally boats from a ship that was wrecked. Jeff will do his whole opener and everything. Then they go on their each individual boat to their camps. And you'll see them on the boat. It'll be like a picture.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like them on the boat coming in, but they'll go into a confessional like, oh, I'm this, maybe this is my strategy. I'm coming in with no morals, no ethics, or like I'm a police officer, this and this, blah, blah, blah. So it's a quick introduction.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like American Idol.
Okay.
It's very quick, and then Jeff is like 20 seat, like, he'll do his whole thing. He's great, by the way. I don't know if you've done your research on
like a lot of awards,
Jeff.
And then he also won like one of the best hosts and stuff like that.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, good. So I did see this one thing. So each member gets to bring one luxury item that they consider their luxury item.
I think that's the thing of the past. They don't do that anymore.
Oh, they don't do that anymore?
Yeah. But that used to be something pretty cool, and that would make it onto the show. But now the show is so fast. That was when the show was slow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about survival, and they were figuring out their footing, That was their pilot. Like season 1 was their pilot, so they were talking about luxury items and everything. I remember someone like brought a Bible, someone brought like a flag, and it made it on the show, and we talked about it, but the game is played so fast and everyone's thinking and strategizing that you're getting all those thoughts, which is something I care about a lot more. I care about the strategy. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's rewind the clock. So say it was that you could bring a luxury item. What would be your luxury item?
If I could bring a luxury item?
Yeah.
Can I bring food? That's probably not allowed. That's probably not allowed. Okay.
Probably not.
Can I bring matches to start a fire?
Maybe.
I don't know if that would be allowed.
I don't know. All right. So.
See, I never did my research on it because it was so short. It was like the first couple seasons.
Okay, so how about this?
Maybe a picture, like if I had like a girlfriend or a family.
Yeah. So what would be your luxury item that it's not a,
doesn't help me in the game?
Yeah, it doesn't help you in the game. Maybe helps you mentally, spiritually.
Yeah, it'd probably be a picture. Picture of my family. You got to know why you're playing. If I had a girlfriend, maybe my girlfriend.
Ladies, he's single.
Or like people like, I'm sure like people do that like with their wives and everything. No. Like, but yeah, I don't. Maybe a soccer ball? I don't know. I mean, but I don't want to exert myself too much. I want to save my calories, so probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. In order, it would be food if I could, an energy drink. It would all be game related.
Yeah. Nah.
So.
Yeah, probably.
What would you bring?
I was thinking about this, and I don't know. I think I just have a basic bitch answer. I think I bring a book, and just.
See, Dom, I want to play with you because you're over here reading your book, and I'm saying, guys, he doesn't even want to be here. Let's vote his ass out of here. You're over here bringing a book. Yeah. See, I can't.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, cool. And then I'm at this resort, and it's like, oh, so what brings you to this resort? Now it's part of Survivor, and they voted me off. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, don't be. I wanted it.
Yeah. They would not let me read this book. Can you believe it? Hey, another Long Island iced tea, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so dope. But
yeah, but that was a thing in the past.
Same thing. Probably a picture of my family. It probably be one of those two. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important knowing why you're playing.
Yeah.
I would feel kind of pressure. Feel some pressure, like, because I would tell my family I'm on the show. You're not allowed to tell anybody else you're on the show. I remained arranged with a friend.
Wait, no, I thought of something. I would bring. I would try to like creating a character because I want to create a character. I would bring like kind of like Castaway with Tom Hanks. I'd probably bring like a volleyball Wilson kind of thing. I'll probably be like create a crazy character where I'm talking to an inanimate object.
You lost, man. I never saw the movie.
You never seen Castaway? What? No. Oh, such a good movie.
I've seen Forrest Gump. What else? Toy Story. He's just a tremendous actor.
Yeah, but Castaway is a really good movie.
I know the movie. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. I highly recommend it. It's a good movie, but I probably do that. Like, bring if I was trying to actually win, like I wanted to actually win the $1 million and try to be a character. Mm-hmm. I'll probably go with the whole crazy dude. Either I'd be like there's just so many possibilities.
What was he doing? Was he just talking to an object that doesn't talk back?
Yeah, like.
So you would put yourself as the crazy person.
Oh yeah, why not?
That's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy because I'd be like, well, I'm bringing him to the final 3 because no one's gonna vote for crazy guy. So now it's my odds tremendously increased.
I just want a camera shot to like get me and be like, we're not gonna get voted off. You hear me? We're like Albert. We're not gonna get voted off here. And then I get voted off. No, Albert. No, they voted me off.
There has been a crazy lady like that. She talked to water.
No,
she talked to water, and she was feeling the water. Her name was Kathy. She was feeling the water, and she was like, I felt the water, and for the first time in the game. For the first time in the game, I couldn't feel my family. And that was just a sign for me. Like, I had to quit. And she ended up quitting that day. That morning, she quit. It was actually sad.
You can quit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Of course, yeah. It's a show. You sign it voluntarily. Quitters suck, though. Because to me, they just fill up a spot in which, I could have been on. Or someone you could have been on, right? Yeah. But it's a tough game. So I understand why there is quitting because you can't. It's tough.
It's tough. I can see myself with a volleyball Wilson, and then she's over here talking volleyball. She's over here talking to water, be like, I don't think I could do this. I miss my family, and I'm just like, what a crazy person.
You have to one up her. You have to grandstand her.
Be like, water doesn't talk.
You can talk to your volleyball like, this bitch is really talking.
Just chuck it at her.
Dude, the cameraman would be going crazy. Like, he'd be like, I don't care who you're filming right now. This is a big moment.
You got eyes on DJ? Yeah, I got eyes on DJ. You got eyes on Kathy? We're running out of footage here.
We need everybody right now to film these 2 idiots. This is TV gold. This is at least 5 minutes of screen time.
Dude, I so would. Like, I would just have fun with it. Like,
I'd be like strategizing with the whoever I was, like whoever I'm talking to, and it would be good strategy. And I would just see the camera crew run away from me, like, was I not talking? Like, and I look over, like, who are they running? Like, what's happening? It's like someone quitting, and you're talking to a damn volleyball.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that guy Dom, he's gotta. I'd have a confessional. Dom's gotta go. He's stealing all my camera time.
He's all my show time, stealing my lightning and stuff. Oh man, that I would want to play that persona. I would have fun with it, and then because either way I win. Either I win the competition and I'm like, man, this is the longest I've played a character, or I lose. But then I get to watch it with my friends and family, and I'm like, dude, this is some good show. They got that good shot right there. I was just
imagine going to the final trap where you just talk to the volleyball, like, volleyball, this is why I deserve to win. Instead of the
wait, I win, and then I just chuck it. It's like, I'm not crazy, you idiots.
There was a guy who I remember. What the hell was his? I think his name was Matthew. It was season 6, Amazon, very early in the season, and he just lost his mind, and for hours, he's just sharpening the machete.
No way.
And you saw multiple confessionals of everyone left, and they were all like, I think Matthew is going to kill us. I'm convinced Matthew is going to kill. And one guy was this guy named Rob. He's so funny. Rob Cesarino. He was like, I know you guys have a job to protect us, but I think it's at jeopardy. I think, he's a real harm to this game. They were all making it a joke, but it was like the best entertainment ever. And you just saw him. And he was literally losing his mind. Like, he ended up getting to the end, too.
No, did he win?
No.
Of
course, they never win, Dom. They can get to the end, but they're not going to win.
Oh, I want the crazy.
I don't think he got a vote. I think that was the first time it was like 7-0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta get you on the show.
I know so much about the show. My thing is like it's downplaying what I know. It's downplaying like, for instance, have you seen all the seasons? I've seen a couple. There's no way I could tell everybody like how much of the show I've seen or like how much I've invested into this. I'm gonna say, you know what, like I'm totally gonna play up that I'm young. I felt like saying, you fuck it, like I might as well do this. Playing up the whole like
Yeah.
And at the end, that's where I start going off at the final 7, start winning challenges and like revealing my strategy and owning tribal councils. Because I didn't say this, but those tribal councils, the jury members show up and watch those. So that night they'll go from Ponderosa or their resort and watch the tribal council, then go back to the resort. And on the final day, they're not allowed to speak. On the final day, they can speak and have the exchange, but they're witnessing everything. And those tribal councils can last like anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours.
Wow.
It's condensed into 10 to 15 minutes of showtime, but there's a lot of that matters to the jury. Like you need to own your game and be like, listen, I'm the guy who's running this, right? I'm calling the shots, like, So I would do that way later in the game. Final 7, final 8.
So what's the what's like you say 3 days and every 3 days someone gets voted off. So what's so every day there's a challenge? Or like
the challenge is on the 3rd day. It's on the same day you have a challenge.
Day 1, day 2, and day 3.
Just talk, especially day 1 and 2. It's, hey, who are you? Like, what are you about? What do you stand for? What brought you to the show? Stuff like that.
Okay.
Interesting talk. Like, it's kind of foreshadowing certain things. Like, oh wow, they might align with who. And then there's actually editing. That part of the show you can argue that's fake. It's not fake. It's just editing.
Yeah.
You've seen how things are edited. Like someone can be given a look like they're witnessing a conversation, but in reality, those two are completely secluded and no one heard them.
Yeah.
But that's for the viewers. So they'll do some of that. But every 3 days you have a challenge, and it'll be in the morning or afternoon, and then that night you have tribal council. The losing team goes. So in between you getting back to your camp and tribal council, you have to talk to everyone and make sure your ass isn't the one going home. So that I say every 3 days. That goes to a certain point. I think it's around like final 10, and then you have a challenge like literally every day.
Oh, okay. Because that was gonna be my next thing. Are there challenges? Does it get to a point where they amp it up?
Yeah, they do. It's okay. Like the final 10 is like the final 10 days of the show. So it gets real. Like every day. That's why like people start losing their minds after the merge.
I could see when it becomes individual, I'm not going to lie, I can see that part being a challenge where you were used to, sleeping in a group and stuff like that. Like you had like some sense of society, and then now it's individual. Now it's every man for himself. And
right. And there's complications, right? Like you just merged. Is it still tribe versus tribe? Or maybe someone on the bottom of the tribe who was probably going to get voted out, maybe if they didn't merge that night, maybe they're going to switch and go and see what this other tribe has to offer, So that's why you always have to treat people with a certain amount of respect and always be willing to work with somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe don't show it. Show it. Show that you're willing to work with them, but maybe don't work with them if it's actually not in your plan, but always be willing to show that you're they're of some sort of value and interest in working with you to get further. That's just smart. I think it's stupid to, if you're, in a majority of 5 and there's 2 people on the outs, to kick them while they're down. Like either those people are going to be voting for you, or for some reason the game is going to completely switch because there's tribe swaps.
Yeah.
Random tribe swaps where people just they swap their tribes. Now it's a whole new game.
What's a tribe swap?
So
like only like say there's 8 and 8. What, like 4 on each team just swapped over?
So they all just drop their buffs. A buff is something you're given. You can wear it like on your arm, your head. Have you seen the Survivor buffs?
I've seen it like where it gives you an edge on the challenge.
Oh no! This is no edge. This is just to represent that you're on the show.
Oh, okay.
It's just and represent what tribe you're on.
Oh, no.
So
okay.
One tribe will have like a purple one will have like a black one, whatever color it is. When it's a tribe swap, this is the famous words the host says: "Everybody, drop your buffs," and they all drop their buffs. And he goes, "We're switching tribes." So they all put their hand in a bag and reveal which tribe they're on now.
Oh, so you don't even know.
So you, in reality, like you can be on the exact same tribe, but what are the odds of that? Like, so
50,
people are gonna switch up.
Yeah.
You know, so it's intense. So that's what I'm saying. You can't treat people with like disrespect, and you can't always assume when you're in power you're gonna stay in power, because the game can flip on its head in one day.
See, no, that's just perfect for me, because I would just be an asshole, and then the moment tribe swap, and then I have to be nice to that person, I'd be like, hey, Jacob, no hard feelings, right? You know that was just for show.
Yeah. And what
you know you my boy.
Right. What fascinates me about the show too is everyone comes in with the same, you play poker, right?
Of course.
Everyone, it's almost like no matter how good you are at poker, like when you sit down, it's almost like everyone's leveled out because the cards do the talking.
Yeah.
Everyone comes to this game in Survivor with the power of voting. Everyone gets one vote. That's it. You get no more. It's not like your vote counts as 2 votes. You know, you're not more powerful than anyone else. So it's how you use that power and influence people. I just like that aspect. Anyone can win the show.
Yeah.
And anyone can win the show. You could literally rerun the same group of people multiple times, and I guarantee, like, it would be tough to find a second winner, like or a winner who won twice. Like anyone can win the show. It just there's a lot of luck that goes in the show, like tribe swaps and idols, but it's how you use that luck to your advantage.
No, for sure. Man, we talked for almost an hour and a half.
Really?
About Survivor. Yeah, the time went by, right?
It's because we're talking about Survivor. Man.
Exactly.
I could talk about Survivor all day long.
No, probably could. Man, I honestly, you did a great job of, getting me hyped for it. I legit want to.
I don't want to hear words, Dom. I want you to watch this
dude,
show.
I seriously will. What that dude Russell Hans?
Yeah.
I'm legit. I want.
So that's season 19 Samoa. I think that'd be a great season to start.
Season 19. Perfect.
It's on Hulu.
Dude, I got Hulu. I'm about to watch it. Like I might watch like an episode or 2 tonight. Like just to see it. Dude, you're gonna be on Survivor. It's gonna be dope. You're gonna do great. You just need to, keep pursuing it. And honestly, once you're on the show, dude, I'm gonna get Brady, Alec, Camden. We're gonna watch you, man. We're gonna watch you live. We're gonna be like, come on, Dylan, come on.
Oh, it's gonna be sick,
dude. It's gonna be dope. So, hey, man. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course.
Do you want to, like, drop handles for people to follow?
No, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy.
I give people the option,
No, I appreciate it. I'm not that guy. But if you tune into Survivor, you might see me one day. That's all I'll say.
Dude, when you get on, because you will, we got to speak it into reality.
Sure.
I'm definitely promoting that. I'm gonna be like, yo, everybody, watch my boy, watch this interview, then watch it.
No, it'll be sick.
Oh man, because what's gonna be great is that, and this is kind of perfect how my show is pretty small right now, is that the moment you get on the show, I'm gonna promote the video and be like, watch his inside mindset, like what he plans on doing on the show, and then we're gonna watch the actual show and be like, oh my god, he's doing it. Hey, have you watched Survivor? Oh, I watched a couple episodes here and there. We would be like, yo, no, he's a liar. He's a liar. But like the contestants aren't gonna know, because obviously they're in freaking Fiji. So like we're gonna know. It's gonna be way more entertaining.
Right.
So people who, casting directors, you need to get this boy, because it's gonna be even more entertaining.
But drop his name. Say Jeff Probst. That's the host.
Jeff Probst. Get my boy Dylan onto your show. It's going to be entertaining. He's the best one, dude. Honestly, you like you mentioned, you got all the attributes that would make you a great contestant. Like, you're gonna be entertaining as fuck. Like you just are.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So hey, we're gonna have you on again. But thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks, man. Had a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm glad you did. All right, and that's it, everybody. Take it easy.